Yeah, I think it's streaming to both. So I think we're live now.
All right. Yep. I see the little eye dot up there.
I don't see anything because I'm all over the place. Well, we are live, and we, no matter how smart or stupid you are, it'll. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we are.
Hey, the first time I went live on YouTube, the first 5 minutes were me futzing around cursing, and then it was just like, oh, I'm live right now. Oh, hi.
Yeah, that just happens. That's just one of those things that just happens. I'm actually looking to make sure that you're being able to be seen, and you're not. So let me change this around. There you are. Okay, now. All right, let me click in here. All right, cool. All right. So
All right.
people will eventually come on if they have their notifications on.
No
Or
problem.
or they gave up on us. They gave up on us considering the fact that we're 15, 16 minutes late. So awesome. So first of all, if you're here, welcome. What I wanted to do is I get a lot of questions on my own channel about ranking and SEO and how to rank in the new age. How do you rank in everything from organic to maps to AI, ranking in ChatGPT and all the LLMs that is out there. So I thought, what better person to bring on than Caleb Ulku, who is the king of SEO and always. I mean, I've known you for how many years now? Since 2018, about
Yeah. Yeah.
2018, from one program to another program, and now we have our own programs, right? Or you have your own program.
Yeah. You had yours when we met, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sweet. So a few things, I guess, while I'm looking at the chat. So you guys can. Crystal Scott is your number one viewer. I think I'm on your channel actually. I am on your channel. That's funny. Um, Robbie is the first. So you guys could drop any questions you have while we go through some of this ranking and local business stuff. But I'm going to hand it over to Caleb, but I'm going to jump in probably a lot because I tend to do that and probably annoy the living hell out of him. And so,
Please. Absolutely.
yeah. And so, look, to be honest with you, Caleb, you've grown your YouTube, what, 10, 15,000 subscribers in the last, what, 6 to 12 months?
Something like that. I'd have to look, but yeah,
Spitting out content every week.
every single week. Yeah.
Not
I
easy, is it?
often joke that, man, if you're starting a new YouTube channel, it's great if you've had it for a couple of years, but for the first 6 months or so, no one watches your content except your video editor and like your mom.
Yeah. No, it's not easy. People who are just starting YouTube it's not easy unless you have like high production and I don't even know, like high production and you're hitting a huge trend that is hot right now. That's
I've only seen a handful of times like somebody hitting a big video in the first handful. It usually just takes a long time of slowly building watch time and staying with it and eventually hopefully getting it. But yeah, so but not here to talk about YouTube.
no.
Here to talk about SEO stuff, right?
Yes. So let's do it. I can tell you one thing before you start is I've always turned to you for SEO stuff. And the funny part is I got involved in a local or the agency with SEO. That was like my first big client was an SEO client, a mortgage company. I tell this story all the time that I charged $5,000 a month for and couldn't rank his site. I mean, I went through hell and high waters to get that site ranked. But when you're competing with like Chase and Bank of America and aggregators like Yelp and all that stuff, it's I promised the world and very very under delivered.
Well, have you heard the story of my first big client in SEO?
No, actually.
So my first big client in SEO was an app development company in India. So a company in India hired me to do their SEO. And they hired me to do their SEO. This was a time when I really didn't even know what SEO stood for. This was back in 2015, 2016. I was just getting started, had no idea. And much like you said, I was just like, yes, I can do all of this. I didn't promise rankings. I promised that we would get them a ton of links.
Uh,
So we started getting all those links, and then one day Google de-indexed their entire domain, which pretty much is about as bad as it gets with SEO. So that was my first client, but that was 10 years ago. I've learned a few more things about SEO in the intervening 10 years. And of course, huge changes in the world of search optimization started in November of 2022. And James, you know what happened in November of 2022?
Yeah. Chat GPT.
ChatGPT 3.5 rolled out. Before ChatGPT had come out, the focus at my agency was almost exclusively on non-local SEO. But 3.5 came out. We started, playing with it at my agency, using it, and it was pretty clear even back then that informational type non-local searches were not the way to make money online anymore. ChatGPT was going to take over. Writing was on the wall. Since then, that's of course happened. Google has introduced its own AI overview,
Right.
but when we saw how powerful ChatGPT 3.5 was, we switched and really focused on local SEO starting in early 2024. So February, March, started focusing on local SEO. So I had a phone sales guy, started running some Facebook ads just to see if we could get some local businesses, get them on the phone, talk to them, pitch them on local SEO. And I remember one morning, my sales guy reaches out to me and he's like, "Hey, Caleb, I have a plumber on the phone, or I have a plumber scheduled this afternoon." It was our first one. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. I'm really excited. First call with the local business owner. That's going to be really exciting. Let me know how it goes." And he was like, "Well, hold on, Caleb. What do you want me to talk to him about? We
Right.
didn't have an offer. We didn't have pricing." He was like, "What do you want me to talk to this guy about?" So we were just like, "Man, just talk to him, figure out what he needs," right? He saw an ad on Facebook and booked a call with a random stranger. So he obviously needs something.
Something. Yeah.
So just talk to him, figure out what it is. So for the next 3 months, he was getting on the phone with 15 to 20 plumbers. They're all plumbers. 15 to 20 plumbers a week, 4 or 5 calls a day. And over that intervening time, we developed our offer, changed it, split tested it, developed it, and then we finally hit on an offer that worked. 6 months after that, we had landed 97 plumbers as clients, and we basically were using all AI to rank them.
Mm-hmm.
Offer that we were giving them, we were building them a new website, we were getting them a new GBP, and then using AI content, we were ranking the website, ranking the GBP. So let's see if this works. Unfortunately, the ranking tool updated, so I can no longer share the native tool without giving away the client name. And every time I've given away a client name on YouTube,
They shut the
bad things
video down.
happen. So
Yeah. Yeah. They'll
it's
shut
just
the.
going to be a screenshot before the interface is updated. But anyway, so this is the before. This is what they look like. You can see the date, February 16th. And then I have to stop sharing. And then let me share the after. So this is the after. And
Hold on.
again, you
Hold
can
on.
see
Hold
the
on.
date. This is March 1st. This is 2 weeks later. The average rank position went from 17.5 to 2.3.
Can you bring up the previous one because I didn't have you. I have to add the screen share when you do it.
Oh, you have to add. No problem. So I'll bring up the previous one.
Unless you.
Yep. So
Yeah.
this is the previous one. This was February 16th.
Okay. Good.
Average rank 17.5. So
Got
in
it.
2 weeks, it was all red to all green, basically. And the method we used, so we started landing local SEO clients, didn't have a huge amount of local SEO experience, no problem. So we started, like, we had been doing SEO since 2015, 2016. We've done SEO for Adobe, Black & Decker, Skillshare. So we've done SEO for big companies, big non-local businesses, hadn't done local before. So we really had to fine tune our local SEO process. So we used the same basic process that we use with non-local. We just adapted it to local SEO. And I'm pretty convinced, I've watched a lot of YouTube about SEO. I don't think there's anyone else who was talking about this method when I started talking about it. Now they might be, because some of my videos have a few views here and there, but it's relatively new. So the overall method that we talk about, we call it internally, we call it the core 30. So if you go and you look at a Google business profile, the business profile is going to have a primary category. Google allows up to 10 categories total, but you have to have at least one. Our recommendation is that you have 3 or 4 categories. Obviously, they have to be relevant. Don't choose something random, choose something relevant. So for plumber, which is the one that we've worked with a lot, we often do plumber as the primary. Then we have drain services provider and gas contractor, or whatever it's called, something like that, for the 3 categories. Then on top of those 3 categories, we want to have 20 to 30 services. Now, a GBP service is a free entry box. You can type anything you want in there. The categories, you need to select one specifically that Google recognizes, but you can put anything you want in the white box for the services. So that gives you, 20 to 25 services, 3 or 4 categories. That gives you 30 pages. That's what we call the core 30. And what we want to do when we're building this out is we want to build the website so that the website structure exactly matches the GBP, right? So the closer we can get the website to match the GBP, the more trust, the more authority we build with Google's algorithm, because then Google is more and more convinced that, yes, this is a real business, and this business is associated with this Google business profile, right? I'm trying to see if I can pull up a map, a little
Yeah, and
map.
I actually, you and I were going through this with that electrician client with me when about the core 30 and like building from the main, like what it is, electrician, and then I don't know if you have like a what the hell they call it? Not as like a graph of how it works, like the
Found it.
got it. Okay.
Yes. It's a PowerPoint slide. I'm an engineer by training, so of course it's just a crappy PowerPoint slide. Uh, yeah, so this is in my school community where we break everything down. But let me talk through this. So the most important URL for a local business website is, we call it the GBP landing page. So if you go to your GBP, there's a box that says website. Whatever URL you put in that box is your GBP landing page. For most local businesses, it's just going to be their homepage. For a multi-location business, it should not be the homepage. It'll be an internal page. But anyway, so you have the internal, or you have the GBP landing page, the homepage. Now, this is the target keyword. So the target keyword on the homepage is your primary category city name. So for fun, we'll just say Plumber Houston, right? So homepage keyword, target keyword is Plumber Houston. Then from the homepage, we're going to link to the secondary categories. So we link to the category, secondary category 1, secondary category 2, secondary category 3. We also leave room to link to a couple of critical services. So these are like the absolute most important services that you or your client care about. So for a plumber, this is going to be water heater replacement, and it's going to be main drain line replacement, right? Those 2 services probably represent 80 to 90% of most plumbers' profits, right? Plumbers don't actually want to deal with clogged toilets or leaky faucets. They want to deal with a water heater replacement or main drain line. So we're going to bring these right up and link to it from the homepage. So the way that we do this, when we think about the GBP landing page, we're going to have H2s, which is subheadings, and each subheading is going to be the secondary category and city name. So it's going to
No,
be something like, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, so like in my simple to think brain, when you say linking, like, are you saying like, you know how like you have you have your homepage and then you have the top where it says like services, it says about us, locations, yada yada. Is that what am I looking at this like category 1 would be one of those, or you're just talking about linking? Like, where do these
Right.
categories go? Do they go under
So these are
services?
not navbar links. These are plain text links in the text of the homepage,
Got it.
right? So
Okay,
your
got it.
homepage has a subheading for this subcategory,
Yeah.
right? Gas work for a plumber. And then under that subheading, you'll have 60, 70, 80 words that briefly describes what you do, how you do it for that category.
Got it.
In that little paragraph, you're going to have a link to another URL, right? So each one of these boxes is a URL, and the
Yeah.
lines connecting them are internal text links.
Got it.
So you'll have a link from your homepage to category one, and on category one, you're going to have 1,500 words about that category. And
Mm-hmm.
on this page, you're also going to have a bunch of subheadings for all of the services relevant to this category.
Okay, give me an example.
So so if you have a plumber that you're talking about natural gas work, maybe one of your services is a new oven installation, a new fireplace
Got it.
installation,
Got it. Got it.
and front lantern installation.
Yeah.
So on your category page, you're going to have a little subheading where like oven installation, and then you're going to have 60, 70 words about oven installation with a link to a deep long form page about oven installation. Do the same thing, repeat, 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 repeat. And this is why we call it the core 30, because with your 20 to 25 services, 3, 4, 5 categories, you end up with around 30 pages to build this out. So when you're done, every category and every service on your GBP is going to have a URL that has the exact category or service on the title tag, on the H1. So then when Google crawls your site, it says, oh, this GBP has 20 services, and when I crawl this website, I can see 20 pages, and there's a page that exact matches every single one of the services that are on the GBP.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to organize these because when you're doing the services and categories on the GBP, you organize the services by which category they're relevant to. So you're going to organize it on the website exactly the same as it's organized on the GBP.
Right.
Is that clear? I mean, I know that's super confusing. And sorry if I'm not being very clear with it.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be 100% clear to everybody. The only thing is because I think when you look at it like this versus what it looks like on an actual site, right? What happened?
Oh, I stopped sharing.
Oh, okay. So you want me to add you? Okay. So I'm thinking about it like I'm thinking this graph was how it would look like on a site. So homepage, main categories, a brief description of each one, linking out to a URL that matches that main category, and then sub categories under the main category.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So you have homepage, main categories, brief description. I'm gonna probably repeat myself because I just want in case nobody heard me. Brief description of the main categories that are sitting on the homepage, linking out to that. Now, do you now write about that main category on that page
You
/ water heater installation?
Yeah, exactly. So you have the little paragraph where you
Got it.
have the link to the deeper page. And then on that page, the target keyword is going to be whatever that category or service is with the city name in it, right?
With the
Water
city
heater
name.
replacement Houston is going to be my target keyword. So I'm going to write content optimized for water heater Houston as if I'm trying to rank organically for that keyword, even though I'm not trying to rank organically for that keyword, right? One thing that a lot of people get wrong when I talk to them about local SEO, they'll ask about, oh, well, don't I have to worry about keyword cannibalization, or don't I have to worry about duplicate content or things like that? And the answer to all of those questions is no, you don't have to worry about any of that,
Yeah.
right? Because local SEO, we're not trying to rank URLs. Everything that we're doing, every URL that we create, is done with the goal of ranking the GBP higher.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't care about duplicate content or cannibalization or anything like that because everything is just trying to rank the GBP.
Yeah. We're not trying to rank organically, essentially.
Exactly.
Right. Now, and then on that main category page, after the main description and what they do and blah 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 1,500 words, then we below that we have the subcategories of that falls under the main category, correct?
Yeah. So there's the primary category, there's the secondary categories, and then there's services.
And then
Yes.
the services all on that one page.
So no. So the homepage will have the secondary categories, and the secondary category pages will have the services. So you end up with 3 layers deep.
3 layers deep. Okay, I got it. Got it. Okay. Now, um, you have the now when you have the whole site built out like this, okay? Categories, yada yada yada. How does the website now I'm asking these kind of questions because I know people are going to have these kind of questions. How does the
Sure.
website translate into ranking a Google business profile? It's two separate entities.
Right. So the rank algorithm for Google Maps, which as of now, mid 2025, has not been impacted by AI. The
Mhm.
Google Map ranking algorithm is pretty much the same now as it was 10 years ago. That ranking algorithm is based on 3 core factors, right? Trust, uh, trust, relevance, and proximity, right? So we
Right.
obviously can't do anything about proximity. That's why we do rank maps when we're doing local SEO. How far away are we? It gets worse and worse. The only thing we could do about proximity is potentially hire an unmarked van to move your target customers closer to your office location. Probably not
Right.
ideal. So we don't do anything about proximity. Uh, Trust is Google code for links,
Yeah.
right? Not internal links. These are links from other external websites, presumably ones that you don't control, back to your website. So if anyone here is super bored, having trouble sleeping tonight, feel free to go onto Stanford's website. And on Stanford's website, you can find the original PhD dissertation by Larry Page, where he lays out the foundation of Google's algorithm. It's still there, it's public information. Google's algorithm is still highly similar to what he laid out. Obviously, it's more complicated now, but it uses the same philosophy. And Google is a $1 trillion company because Sergey Brin and Larry Page had the brilliant realization to treat the internet like academic papers, right? So when you write an academic paper, the more other papers cite your paper, the more important your paper is.
Mm-hmm.
So internet, because of Google, works the same way. The more websites, especially trusted websites, that link back to your website, the more Google will trust your website. Okay, that was the brilliant realization that made them, billionaires, made Google $1 trillion company. So trust with Google basically means links. Now,
Yeah.
we're talking about local SEO. The good news is for local SEO, right? You're not competing with like Amazon. You're not competing like you did with J.P. Morgan Chase.
Right.
You're competing with Joe the plumber. Okay. Now in Houston, Joe the plumber is probably paying 10 grand a month or more to rank in the top 3. But most places aren't like Houston. And honestly, if you're ranked in the top 3 for Plumber Houston, you have a 7-figure business. So if you're paying 10 grand a month for that, that's well worth it, well worth the ROI.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So when we talk about local SEO, there are 2 kinds of links that we talk about. Okay, we're going to keep this super simple. The first kind of link is a low to medium quality link. Nothing crazy, nothing expensive. Generally, we use at my agency a PBN. It stands for Private Blog Network. It's just a low to medium quality link. Those go to every URL we create. So we talked about the core 30. That's 30 pages. You're going to need 30 PBN links. PBN
Now,
links aren't super expensive.
yeah. So now, like, that brings me back to the mortgage client because what I ended up doing was paying Jason, actually. That's how I met Jason, to build me out a PBN network. So then that's how desperate I was. I was like, I don't think I knew where else to get links from, and I don't think anybody else that I knew. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna build my own network. And what a weird way of doing things. Just
It's
like,
very weird. And we had a similar realization. We built our own PBN. It is funny you said PBN network. That's like saying ATM machine. I just have to pause and give
right?
you a hard time about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so these are not high quality links, right? They don't need to be. The reason we need them is because content is free, for lack of a better word, right? ChatGPT made content free. There are so many tools right now where you can link OpenAI's API with WordPress and publish 10,000 articles at a click of a button. So
Yeah.
Google doesn't really value just raw content anymore, not like they did before ChatGPT. So these PBN links, low to medium quality links, we send them to every single of the 30 pages, the core 30, just as a signal to Google that they're not AI slop. That's it. These are the hey Google, this isn't slop type of a link. Someone asked, won't PBN links get you de-indexed? I haven't had that happen. As long as you're using a high quality PBN. Usually, if you're not using a high quality PBN, what happens is Google will figure out that you're using PBN links and de-index the PBN, but it
Yeah.
will leave your site alone. This makes a lot of sense. PBN links are fairly inexpensive. If using low quality PBN links, which are even cheaper, if those can get a website de-indexed, no one would ever do SEO. They would just buy a bunch of crappy PBN links to all of their competitors, and then they're number one because all their competitors got de-indexed. So it's generally pretty hard to get de-indexed just with crappy links because, yeah, SEO is harder than getting crappy links. That's a lot easier.
Yeah.
So when people say that PBN links, if they get found out, you get penalized, what often is going on is the PBN links get found out, the PBN gets de-indexed, and then suddenly the website that was getting all that link power is getting nothing. So it loses rankings, but it basically goes to where it would have been if you didn't have any PBNs. Right? Am I making sense with that?
Yeah.
So the
Yeah. Yeah.
PBNs don't actually hurt you; they just stop helping you, which hurts you.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're taking 3 steps forward, you might be taking 2 steps back
Yeah.
or three.
But we're not using any of these PBN links to actually rank anything, right? That's not our goal. That's not why we're doing them. These are just a signal to Google, not AI, right? Google's AI, ChatGPT, none of the AI things care even a little bit about links. So all this talk about PBN links is just for Google's base algorithm, just for local rankings, right? Hopefully no one here is trying to do non-local rankings. If you are, good luck.
Hmm.
So we're talking about local rankings, okay? Okay, so that's one type of link. That's the this is not AI slop Google link. The second type of link, which is much more important, this is the link that will actually build trust, okay? And this is the link, these trust building links, you guys have probably heard of them if you're in the local SEO space. The number one that we almost always recognize is join the local chamber of commerce, a massive signal of trust. Beyond that, it's going to be things like sponsoring local sports leagues, sponsoring local charities, sponsoring local charitable events. Anything along those lines is going to often come with a link. Make sure it comes with a link before you do the sponsorships. But a lot of that is going to come with a link, and those are incredibly powerful links. We have clients where they're in fairly competitive spaces, and we spent like $500 sponsoring local events, and they're ranked in the top 3 within 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, so these are incredibly, incredibly powerful links. And I used to have them, we used to use that type of link even before AI came out. And I used to have an employee whose almost full-time job, well, hey, we just got a client in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Find me local charities and local sports leagues who are looking for sponsorships who will give me a link. And she would just go on the internet and try to find it. Well, ChatGPT can do that for us now, which is pretty cool. Can I show
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Go ahead.
prompt that we use for that?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
much?
No. No, it's not too much.
No?
Just let me know when you share it so I can click it.
Perfect. Okay, so I click, click, click. So obviously this is in the school group, so it's sharing now.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to remove myself. Wait a minute. There we go.
Perfect. Okay. So if you don't want to join the group, that's fine. You can, I don't know, freeze frame. AI can probably grab this text, use the prompt. It's a good prompt. We use it all the time. Let me go down, scroll down so you can see the whole prompt. It's quite long. So I say to use it with Claude Deep Research, which if you're using Claude, then if you tick this button, it will do deep research. I can show you what the output looks like here. So we can copy the whole thing, paste it here, and then we're going to change to Fort Wayne.
Actually, you know what? Make it mine. Do Wayne.
Wayne, New Jersey.
Yeah. Now do
And in what
for
business?
electrician.
Electrician. So this will take a few moments to run. I'm going to turn it to Opus. Opus Sonnet is the one that we use for writing content. Opus is a little bit better for bigger tasks like this. So we'll hit run. That'll go in the background. I'll share
Now,
again when it's
I
done.
know you're a Claude lover. Now, what about with the release of Chat GPT-5? Like, I know you probably just like, I'm not changing. I'm just sticking with what I know.
No, we tried it. We tried ChatGPT 5, and look, it's better than what ChatGPT 4.5 did, but the content that comes out of Claude, I still think is better than ChatGPT 5.
Okay.
That being said, we still use ChatGPT, if I could speak,
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5 for a variety of other topics, but for just straight up content writing, Claude is our go to. And the reason I'm running this in Claude and not ChatGPT, I will say that if you run this prompt in ChatGPT with the deep research, you're going to get more options. It's going to be more thorough, but it's going to take like 15 or 20 minutes to run. Claude will run this in probably 5 minutes. So it's still
Hmm.
going to take a minute. Um, but this is incredibly powerful. I love this. It saves so much time of our team. We can just basically run this, join a couple of sponsorship events, because the prompt is going to make sure, I mean, double check, right? AI tends to lie all the time. So double check. But theoretically, the prompt is only going to give you opportunities that will give you a link in exchange for a sponsorship. So yeah, I think I mentioned James to you at one point. We had a personal injury attorney out of New Orleans, and they were like sixth, seventh average rank position. And he wasn't a New Orleans Chamber member, so he joined the New Orleans Chamber. We sponsored his daughter actually played softball, so he sponsored her 9-year-old softball team. Got his firm name on the softball T-shirts, and then he sponsored the Bayou Bash,
Hmm.
which is an event in New Orleans, and he went from like 5 or 6 average rank to 2.
Yeah. I mean, and that's such an easy thing to do. You should be doing it anyway. You know what I mean? If you're a local, if you want to drum up business locally, like that's like the easiest thing to do. Like even like Wayne PAL, um, they have a bunch of leagues. I always sponsor it. A buddy of mine that has a sporting goods store sponsors it, and yeah, you get automatic links. I never even got a link because I never sent links to my website, but
Should I
I
stop sharing right now? I think the stream is just showing Claude clank
oh yeah, I'm
churning
trying to.
around in the background.
Okay, hold on. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this damn thing. Why is it not showing like?
Is it just sharing a black screen right now?
No, no,
That's
no. It's
even
sharing
worse.
both. It's sharing both of us. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
So that's
Oh,
running.
there's
So you use that instead of having somebody. You just get a list and then your employee just reaches out.
Yeah, and some of the lists, like literally, you go to it and it's like a PayPal button, and you
Uh,
just click the button, you give them money, and then the link shows up. Like
yeah.
so easy. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's great. So those are the two types of links. So okay, back to what I was talking about. I mentioned proximity. We can't do anything about trust. This is basically how we build trust by sponsoring these local events and everything. The other link, the PBN links, that's just hey Google, this isn't slop. The great thing about these local event sponsorships, remember I said that AIs don't care at all about links. They work based on something that we call mentions, right? So they're looking for brand mentions, and the more trusted the brand mentions, the more likely they are to recommend you. So this type of mention is also very good to get ChatGPT to recommend you. There's also like we call them like super citations, because the problem in the SEO world, if you say citations, everyone thinks of those like 2019 style citations where you'd hire VAs to type your business name in little boxes until their fingers bled. Those don't do anything. Google doesn't care about those. ChatGPT doesn't care about those. Nobody cares about those. Please don't do those. If you're doing those, you're wasting your money. But super citations like Bing for Business, Apple Maps, Yelp, Foursquare, Instagram, those types of things are also very valuable to ChatGPT, especially Bing for Business. Okay, if you're trying to get ChatGPT to recommend your business, you need to have a Bing for Business profile. Microsoft is a huge funder of OpenAI, and ChatGPT works on Bing's index, not on Google's.
Got it. Which then segues you eventually into ranking and having ChatGPT recommend you and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the two things. The third one is relevance. So when we talk about relevance, we break it into two subcategories. We have topical relevance and we have geographical relevance. Now, for 99% of businesses, you're going to build the topical relevance you need with the core 30 that we've already talked about. That's going to be sufficient topical relevance unless you're trying to rank in like New York City or Houston or something like that. 99% of businesses, that's all you need for topical relevance. Then we talk about the geographical relevance. And to get the geographical relevance, we basically have to build, well, geographical content. And I can show an example of that, but our prompt finished. Should I share and show
Yeah,
you
yeah,
what
go
it
ahead.
came up with?
Yep.
Here we go. Wayne, New Jersey electrician. All right, so it's saying there are exceptional opportunities, James, for
Okay.
your town. So of course it's recommending the Wayne Chamber of Commerce. Excellent. And hey, the Wayne Day, the town's premier annual event, that's accepting sponsorships. Do you know what that event is? Wayne
Yes.
Day?
Yes.
All right, so you can sponsor that. You can also do something through the local universities, the
Yep.
government. And here we go. Minimal investment. Join the Chamber of Commerce. Tap into Wayne, local media opportunity with publisher, actively seeking local business content, and explicitly providing backlinks in the articles. Then we have a link so that you can reach out to this person, talk to them about that. We can keep coming down. Here's a link to that university. JC Promotions provides confirmed backlinks to the local sponsorship, $750 per event, and then we got some links there, so we can give them $750 and get that event. Then we have so anyway, this just keeps going, going. Yeah, so this is what this prompt outputs. It's just basically look at this: Wayne Public Library community programs and business resource directory listings.
Yep.
Right, that's free. Right, you can go to the Wayne Public Library, create your business directory, and I mean, the Wayne Public Library is probably a fairly high trust domain because it's a public library, so it's probably on a .gov domain or something like that. So yeah, this is why we love this prompt.
That's great. That's awesome. It's giving me a bunch of ideas
Oh,
already.
someone had a good question. Should the Chamber of Commerce and sponsorship links go to the client's business homepage? So the way that I would phrase it, those should go to the GBP landing page, which usually is your homepage. But if you have a multi-location business, then you might be joining multiple chambers of commerce. Each one should go to the relevant landing page for that business. Now, local chamber of commerce can be stretched. The New Orleans personal injury attorney, we joined every chamber of commerce within 70 miles.
Hold on. You're breaking up. Hold on one second. You're breaking up. Give it a second to catch up to you. All right.
Okay.
I think you're good. Yeah. I was gonna actually ask you about that. You broke up with a lot of things you said up until you said my personal injury attorney. You joined X number of uh chamber of commerces. How many?
Yeah, 13 or 14.
Yeah. So all within how many miles?
70.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, like, if I'm an electrician in Wayne, but I also serve like 15 towns around me. Does it matter where it comes from?
So I'm not going to say that you're more likely to rank in the town that the chamber is that you got the link from, right?
Right.
So, for example, one of the chambers that we got the link from is like in Mobile, Alabama, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't rank in Mobile, Alabama, and he's not going to. It's very, very hard to rank in a city different than the city your GBP is in.
Got it.
So, it's really just to get the authority link from a reasonably relevant local chamber.
Got it. Somebody asked the three cores: trust, proximity, and relevance.
Yes.
Yep.
With trust being links, relevance being the content you're producing, and then proximity is how far away the searcher is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the marketing show. I think that's James Hurst. I think that's James. What's up, James? How much total would you spend on all these links?
Good question. So it depends on the client's budget, right? So PI attorney in New Orleans, right? New Orleans is a fairly large city, not huge, but it's like 700,000, something like that. And typically, PI attorney is one of the most competitive
Profitable.
spaces for
Yeah.
local SEO. So if you have an attorney in a city as large as New Orleans for PI, trying to rank for personal injury attorney in New Orleans, they should at least be paying you $5,000 to $7,000 a month to make that happen. So if I'm going to join a dozen chambers of commerce, each one is like 200 or 300 bucks. That's $3,000. That's half of what he's paying me for 1 month.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Now, obviously, if I'm trying to rank for plumber eclectic in eclectic Alabama, I don't need to join 12 chambers of commerce to rank in eclectic Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't
It
need
just
to do anything except create a GBP and to rank in eclectic Alabama. I
with the
think
core 30.
8,000 people live there.
With you got to have the core 30 though.
Not if you're ranking, right? If you're ranking, you're done. But yeah,
Preferably.
nobody's on. That would be like, hey, watch me rank for snow removal Miami. See how easy local SEO is?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So you got core 30 starts with the site. You got the core 3, which is relevance, proximity, and trust. What else you got going on? What about name, address, and phone number?
So that's where we talked briefly. I mentioned citations.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to want to get those like very high quality citations. Let me pull up the list real quick here.
So you're not using Bright Local to get citations.
No, Bright Local is pretty expensive, and Yext is more reasonably priced. But the problem with Yext is they delete your listings, or they delete your citations if you cancel,
If you
which is
don't pay monthly for it, yeah.
yeah, which is kind of crappy. Um, so you could get them all manually. All of these platforms, you can go and get them manually. But they almost all of them require some form of verification. So they're kind of a pain to get manually. So the tool that we use to get them, can I show the tool? Is that too much?
No, go ahead, show it.
All right, I'll show the tool. I'm trying to figure out if I can.
And I will say, while he's pulling that up, like obviously, there's training that goes along with this. I'll drop the link at the end. Caleb has a whole school training that literally will step by step walks you all the way through this. I mean, it's literally a no brainer. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because on my own channel, I get a lot of people, asking me about SEO and stuff like that, and I wanted to have a resource for them instead of you know what they say in business in general is like the person who chases two rabbits catches none. And so I'm really good in some things, and SEO is not one of them. So I just pawn everything off to Caleb for that, whether it even be clients or people that want to learn it.
Yeah. Okay. And
You
yeah,
pulling it up?
I ask you stuff all the time. There's like, I have a lot of clients who will ask like, hey, do you do Facebook ads? And the answer will be no, we don't do Facebook ads.
Yeah.
But I know someone who does. Okay, so this is the tool. Tool's called LeadSnap. Um, and basically, it has API connections to 51 different listings, and it's
Mm.
Apple Maps, Bing, Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa, blah, 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 like all high quality citations. And you turn it on with one click, and then it syncs to all of these different places. And like with Bing, right? To normally get a Bing, you need to go through verification, you need to get a postcard. Same thing with Apple Maps, verifications, and all of that jazz. This just links it up and it creates an exact copy of your GBP. It takes like 4 minutes. So this is basically what does all of our citations. It's $20 a month. I know the owner. I know you know the owner too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he won't be too annoyed if I say it's $20 a month. But if you cancel it, the tool does not delete the citations. It doesn't delete it like some other tools do. So take with that what you mean, or
Yeah.
take with that what you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Lee Snap. I remember when he created that. He spent like years building that thing.
Oh, he's into this tool for yeah. He spent years. It does a lot of other stuff too, and we use it for a lot of other stuff. But the citation functionality is what got me really pumped about it. Because not only does that help you rank on Google, it also helps you get recommended by ChatGPT and by Google's AI overview.
Yeah. And so, do you want to segue into kind of that and give a couple tidbits on that before we go too long and people need to rewatch the replay?
Sure. So are there any good questions? Let's see.
Yeah.
Six-toed feet. That's a fun name. Do you pay for the Chamber of Commerce membership out of the monthly fee, or do you ask the client to pay? Generally, I pay for it out of the monthly fee, right? If we're doing SEO for a client, it's so there's this funny thing that people hate being nickel and dimed, right? So you've been in New York City, James. Yep.
I
You've
was just
taken a New
there.
York
I was
City
just there
taxi cab.
yesterday at a Go High Level event last
You've
night.
taken a New York City taxi cab, not an Uber, but like the old school
Yeah,
taxi
I
cab.
have. Yeah.
So if you were to design the worst possible pricing system for human psychologically, it would be the pricing system for New York City taxi cabs.
Yeah, time and mileage. Like it.
And it just sits there and goes up 10 cents, 10
Oh yeah,
cents,
yeah,
10.
yeah.
And it's infuriating to sit there and watch it tick up slowly over time. People hate that. So we don't nickel and dime our SEO clients. We say, hey, here's the price for a fully managed campaign, and then we take care of everything. Chamber memberships, they're usually based on the business size. And if you're the one joining, I don't know, maybe you can use your business, but then put their business name and their link in there. If they happen to have a giant business, whatever, you can figure that out. But most of the time, the chamber memberships are a few $100 a year. So I just pay for that out of their monthly. Okay, geographical relevance pages. So that's a good question. Should we talk about geographical relevance, or do you want to talk about
No, let's
ChatGPT?
do that. That's like what, service pages and stuff.
No, the service pages are for topical relevance. So let me pull up a rank map, and I will share my screen.
Go ahead. I'll just
All
wait
right.
so I can click it. All right, we're good.
So this is not a client of mine. This is just some random plumber in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you guys ever watch my YouTube channels, I talk about Fort Wayne, Indiana a lot. I've never actually been there. I don't know anyone who lives there, but Fort Wayne, Indiana just seems like a perfectly generic Midwestern town. If you're from there and that's really insulting to you, then I apologize. Okay. That's by Fort Wayne, Indiana. So this is the heat map for Stanton Plumbing, the local rink map. So the way this works, obviously, if you were standing right here and you searched for the target keyword, which is plumber Fort Wayne, if you're standing right here, Stanton Plumbing would be in the number 2 position. And then each one of these dots is 1 mile away. So 1 mile away from Stanton Plumbing's address, they're in the 5th position. If you're not in the top 3, you're basically invisible. So this rank map is pretty bad, right? So if I looked at rank map like this, then I know we don't need to talk about geographical relevance because they don't have enough topical relevance yet. Okay, you need to have a decent amount of topical relevance before geographical relevance starts to become important. So what I just did, when you run this local rank map with lead snap, you can actually pull up all of the competitors and you can pull up every single one of the rank maps that you want to. So it's pretty cool. And what's also great is it's going to sort average rank, but what I like is sorting by the top 3%. So this is the percent of the rank map that this business is in the top 3. Okay, and that's great because again, right, top 3 means that you can be seen. So a rank map that looks like this, 20 to 30 to 40% in the top 3. This is a rank map that shows it's time to start thinking about geographical relevance instead of topical relevance. Okay, so the way
So
we do.
real, hold on. So in again, in my simple brain, like I feel like this Rotor Rooter, which is a huge company, but Rotor Rooter Plumbing would be located closer to Huntertown rather than Arlington Park.
I would agree that yeah, Fort Wayne I think is in the middle of this map.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're clearly going to be located up here because remember I ran it centered on Stanton Plumbing, not Roto Rooter.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm just using this as an example for how to think about geographical relevance.
Got it.
Okay. So the way that we do geographical relevance is we're going to focus on 4s and 5s right? If we took like this 10 and did a whole bunch of work to turn this 10 into a 4, we might feel really good about ourselves, but the plumber's not going to get any more calls, right? 4 is invisible. Moving from 20 to 4 doesn't mean anything. If you don't
Yep.
move into the top 3, you're wasting your time.
Yep.
So I want to move from 4 to 3 or from 5 to 3. That's what I'm focused on. So I'm going to look at these 4s, 5s, and I'm going to focus on that. And what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom in, and you can see this is a good example. So this number 5 is right next to a neighborhood that Google is calling Concord Hills. So that's great. And it's also very close to Sunnybrook Acres. So I might do both of those. So what I would do is I would write an article for this website. Target keyword is Plumber Fort Wayne. So I'll write an article, and the target keyword for that article is going to be Plumber Concord Hills Fort Wayne. And then I'll
Mm.
write another article about Plumber Sunnybrook Acres Fort Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And those articles are going to talk about how the plumber does jobs in that area, how they do projects in that area, maybe show some before and after photos. They can be AI generated of what projects look like in that area. Then we're going to provide driving directions from Sunnybrook Acres back to the GBP address. And in the other one, we'll provide it from Concord Hills back to the GBP address. We'll write another one on Brookside Estates. We'll write it on El Dorado Hills. All of these different neighborhoods, we're going to write geographical content to target that neighborhood that Google is recognizing, because this is Google Maps, for the keyword Plumber Fort Wayne. Am I making sense? Is that
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how many articles you're going to need to have to hit every town.
so? One of our big clients is a LASIK eye surgeon in the city of Chicago, and let me see if I can pull up a rank map that doesn't have the business name on it.
Or you could
That's
maybe,
obviously.
or take a screenshot of it.
Let me do. Right. So what we did, I'm just going to delete a bunch of stuff here real quick. How do I get rid of this stupid? Here we go. Excellent. Okay. So let me share the before and after. Oh, ooh, I caught it. The business name is in the file. So I'm going to do a quick save as. Yeah, you people on YouTube, you go and mess with businesses. So I can't let you do that.
Do they really?
With client. Oh, all the time. It's okay. Here we go. Now I'm going to share screen. Window example. There you go. Okay. So this is LASIK Eye Surgery Chicago. This is when they hired us, and this is where they are now. And it doesn't. So one thing to keep in mind: this rank map is actually much, much larger, right? So Montrose Beach is up here, and Montrose Beach is up here. So we actually made the rank map larger because they were ranking so well. So what we did when they hired us, they were great. All the topical relevance in the world, they're just missing geographical relevance. So
Yeah.
we started producing just crazy amounts of content for all of these different neighborhoods around Chicago. Okay? This took us about 6 months. Do you know how many pieces of content based on each one of these little dots we produced in that amount of time?
How many?
It was
200.
170 pieces of content.
I was going to say 200.
Okay, yeah, 170 pieces of content focused on these little neighborhoods around Chicago to turn these individual little dots green.
And
And it worked.
so my question to you is this: you're using AI to generate the content?
Yeah, so let me show you, of course. So this is the school group again, I'm sharing again, and let me go. This is the pro group where everything is like step by step over the shoulder. So it's under AI content prioritization. Perfect. So what we would do, like I can hit share and I can download this CSV, which will give me all the data. And then, this is right. I can come into here and run this prompt. I'll, give it the target keyword, scan, and this is the data that's in the CSV. And what this prompt will do is it's going to analyze the data, and it's amazing, right? Because AI, with the latitude and longitude, it knows the neighborhood names.
Got
So it's
it.
going to analyze the data, basically give you a prioritized list of content based on where it sees 4s and 5s, neighborhood names, and the demographics of those neighborhoods.
Mm.
So you run this prompt with the CSV of the rank data, and then bam, you know exactly what your content plans are for the next few months. And then every month, this heat map reruns, and you grab the data, feed it to AI, and create that content for that month.
And now,
Um,
are you creating like, so there was 170 towns, right? Around, right?
Neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods. Okay. 170 neighborhoods. And why not just create all 170 at once?
Cost,
Cost? No, what's
right?
costing you money?
So we have AI write the content, but we have humans edit it, right? We're
Got
never
it.
going to have AI output content and then just post it. So we always have humans edit the content. We always check the content with this tool Zero GPT, just to make sure it's not scoring like 99% AI written. Those tools are all crap and they don't work, but we still check it anyway. Then we have a developer who creates the page, puts it on there. The pages, they can't be walls of text, right? Google won't index, Google won't pay attention to walls of text. So we need images, we need the alt text, we need the file names, we need callouts. So there's some development time to do all that. Then we have to add internal links back to that content. So we need to go into other pages.
You froze again, by the way. I don't know if you could hear me. I think I lost you.
Website. We add a PBN link. Oh, boy, what's wrong with my internet connection? Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we missed about 30 seconds, 25 seconds.
Well, I was just describing why we can't just do all of them in month one. There's just,
Yeah.
it's not like cranking out a bunch of crappy content and posting it. There's a bit more involved, but it's not overwhelming, right?
Now,
It,
where are those where are those pages? Are they like listed somewhere? Like, or like,
yeah. So on the nav bar, we'll have a little box that says like locations, and then you click on that, and it's going to describe the main city, and then it's going to say like we've serviced customers in these neighborhoods, and then it's just a list of all the links to all the
links
location
to?
pages.
Oh, okay, that's easy enough. Got it. Okay, and and so like what? That's a lot of work. But what are you charging that LASIK company?
Right. So for the clients that we run, our pricing is very simple. It's scope-based pricing. We charge $300 per article that's published, and that's basically all in. Everything is included. That we'll also do the citations. We're going to do the powerful link building stuff like that. So if a client comes to us and we say, okay, looks like you're going to need 20 new articles a month, then we're going to say our price is $6,000 a month.
Got it. And so if they so that 107, so when you have to do 200, right? Because you did the front the front end work to know that they needed 200, let's say 200. Are you
Yep.
capping it at 20 a month, or are you saying like I need to spread this out over like what's the most you'll do in a month?
Right. So we'll do as many as they have a budget for, right?
Got it.
So
Got it.
if they need 200, then that's a $60,000 engagement. So if we say, hey, we'll do this next month for $60,000, and as long as they pay the invoice, we'll get it cranked out. Most of the time, we're going to spread it out over 6 to 9 months.
Got it. And then after that's done, what happens? Any ongoing SEO?
So after that's done, we basically just watch that local rank map. And anytime we see something turn from top three to below the top three, like, okay, another piece of geographic relevance we need right there. So every month we're still checking on them and making sure that everything is still green. And if everything is green, then maybe we don't publish any content because we don't need anything that month.
And then
But
there's no cost.
then there's no cost, right?
Got it. So you're actually doing it almost like an article based, like
Yeah, and I will say that so I think that I pay my employees well. They're all fully remote, and I pay like $45 an hour.
mhm.
So my cost all in to do the articles is less than $100, and
Got
that's
it.
everyone's time. That's the link sourcing. That's everything involved. So now I've just given what my profit margin is. But a lot of that profit margin, of course, goes to managing the client, goes to like joining the chambers and all of this other stuff. But my point, the reason I said that my cost to do it, like, yeah, 300 a piece sounds expensive. But when you realize that I'm paying 45 bucks an hour, each one of these articles is 1 or 2 hours of work, right? And that's including the development time. You can find a developer on Upwork for 10 bucks an hour
Yeah.
and get rid of that. So if you're a local business owner doing this yourself, you can crank the core 30 out in a couple of days.
Yeah. So now, if I'm thinking about it from a simple perspective, not a LASIK eye surgeon or a plastic surgeon or a PI lawyer, but if I'm thinking about it for like blue collar, like home improvement, contractor, kitchen replacement, things like that, which is could be a contractor. Um, maybe that's high end too. So what about like electrician, plumber, um, you know, tow truck? I forget tow trucks.
Tow truck.
But like blue collar, like would it be crazy to think that you can back in the day, like I would charge like crazy amounts of money for SEO just because clients have literally no idea what it would or should or could cost, right? Um, and so like I'm just trying to think of like, do you have any ongoing SEO clients that you just have forever that are just always paying you a flat fee, or is it basically work based fee?
No, a lot of them are just ongoing forever, right? So, in my experience, an SEO client that's been with you for 6 months is likely to stay with you for years.
Yeah,
So, I have multiple SEO clients that have been with me for years.
but you're still charging them even though you're not doing any work, or you're always doing some sort of work.
So, I mean, we're watching the rank maps, right? And if the rank map is all green, then we don't do anything that month.
Got it.
But we're always like, it's we're not going to go like 6 months without doing anything because
Right.
we're going to have some of them tick from green to orange or something, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And what we're charging is very justified by the ranking, right? So, hey, if I'm charging a PI attorney $10,000 a month, each case they get is worth 30 grand.
Yeah, at
So if
least.
they're taking the top three and they get a handful of cases a month, man, they're thrilled with the $10,000 bill. And I did a ton of work in the front to get them ranked, and now we can just sort of ride back, do what needs to do to keep them there, which is obviously less.
Yeah, yeah. All
But
right.
they're still getting the same amount of value. They're still getting the same amount of calls, the same amount of cases that they were getting, on the months where we had to bust our ass to get them ranked.
Sure.
It's one of the ways that SEO agencies typically do pricing. In my experience, a lot of agencies on the first few months of the contract will make a very tight profit margin, but once they're ranked, the profit margin grows quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
another reason that I think a lot of local business owners should be, especially with AI, managing a lot of their SEO themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a lot to ask.
I mean, with AI, it's definitely doable. And if it's not doable, then hopefully you're watching the live stream, you're getting some inspiration. You can just do this for local businesses. Like it's not rocket science, right? We're just building the right relevance, the right trust, and using AI to find those sources to write the content.
Yeah, I think you're very wrong about businesses doing this. There's zero chance of a business doing
Yeah,
this.
you're probably right. Because I've been on the phone with business owners and I've told them like, here's my cost structure, here's my pricing, here's what we're gonna do, and they'll say like, all right, let's move forward. Yeah,
I
it's like
mean, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've been doing this a long time, and I still would need, and you gave me access to your training, like because I'm working on my electrician, like and I've spent hours working on it, and like I had to keep going back to the core 30 and like, okay, I got to do this. There's no way. This guy's an electrician, bro. He's hanging lights and installing, like, working in industrial buildings. Like, he's not going to sit there at night at 9 o'clock at night with two kids and work on his SEO.
yeah, you're probably right. You're
No,
probably
I'm
right.
right. I know I'm right. So like again, it just makes, we get like the sky is falling vibes of AI, and it's going to take, marketing agencies are dead, which drives me effing crazy. It's like, yo, no, it's just that you could do a much better job faster and probably can charge more now. Like, you can achieve more faster and better than ever before. I mean, think of
So I
SEO
love
back in the day. Like, it was. I feel like it's easier now than it was then.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. I agree. And so many people are saying like, oh, Google is dead. Everyone is on ChatGPT. What's fascinating about that? My counterpoint to that, which is data back, is search volume on Google is going up,
Yes.
right? So what seems to be happening, almost certainly, is that people are asking ChatGPT for recommendations, and then they're repeating that same search on Google. And we have known for many, many years that if you're ranked well on Google, that is a massive vote of trust, right? The searcher, the person searching on Google, if you're showing up number one, number two, they just trust you more because Google said you were good. Now, if you have Google recommending you and you have ChatGPT recommending you, your close rate as a business owner can go up. The calls become easy, right? I've listened to calls of clients of mine who are recommended in both places. The person calls and just says, "Hey, when can you come here?" Oh, that's what the price is. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Because ChatGPT said they're the best and they're ranked number one on Google,
Yep.
right? And the great thing is, as long as you're doing ChatGPT is usually easier to get recommended than Google because we don't have to worry about links the same. But with ChatGPT, there are a couple of things that you have to do that you don't have to do to get ranked on Google. So it's a little bit different, but it's easier to get the ChatGPT rank because no one knows how to do it, right?
Yeah. So I
We
guess share a little bit, like like you did with relevance, proximity. Like, is there do you have a core something when it comes to ranking in
So we have a
ChatGPT?
core eight. No. So ChatGPT. So the first thing to keep in mind, I said this before, right? ChatGPT uses Bing's index.
Got it.
Okay. So you have to have a Bing for business. Okay. You have to have a Bing for business. I have seen so many businesses ranked number one on Google, and they're like, they don't have a Bing for business listing, and ChatGPT thinks they don't exist. Okay,
Got
so
it.
get
Got it.
a Bing for business listing. That's the most important thing to rank on ChatGPT. Number two, I briefly mentioned this. We refer to it as mentions. Um, those are actually easier to get. Most of the time, when you're getting a link for Google, that's going to have a mention associated with it also. And there are a lot of mentions you're going to get without a link. And that does nothing for Google. ChatGPT loves it because ChatGPT loves the mentions. So the biggest thing, right? Two big things that I'll say two big things for ChatGPT that are different. Number one is citation consistency. Okay, so I've talked about how ChatGPT looks at mentions. Citation consistency used to be super important with Google. It stopped being important with Google probably 4 or 5 years ago, or in the early 2020s. We stopped caring about citation consistency. Now we care about it a lot again, because if you think about it from ChatGPT, right? If you have a business that's ABC Plumbing, and then you have your Apple Maps listing is A.B.C.plumbing, and then your Bing for Business listing is ABC Plumbing and Air. ChatGPT doesn't know those are the same business because ChatGPT doesn't follow links. ChatGPT doesn't crawl links like Google does.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense? Am I making sense with that?
Yes.
So citation consistency is like so important for ChatGPT, not important for Google at all. So that's a big one. And the second one, because remember, like all of this is based on ChatGPT is bad at crawling the internet. So structured data, also called schema,
Mm.
very important for ChatGPT. It's been important for Google, but it's more important for ChatGPT. If you don't know what that is, structured data, the way I like to think about it is pretend you're moving, right? You're moving into a new house and you pack all of your worldly belongings into boxes. Structured data is the label on the boxes, right? When you get to your new house, you could open the box and ruffle through it and figure out what everything is, but it's a lot easier if there's a label on the box and you know what room it goes in, right? So the structured data tells ChatGPT exactly what's on that page and what ChatGPT should care about on that page. So let me give an example of how critical this is for ChatGPT. The PI attorney I mentioned, right? They had a major settlement. It was a pretty sad story, so I won't go into it. But it was a big settlement. It was like $3 million, right? Woot woot for them. Found them with SEO. So yeah, my monthly fee sounds pretty good when they get a $3 million settlement, right? The attorney takes a third. Um, literally the attorney bought a Bentley after that settlement came through. Anyway, okay,
Jesus Christ.
so they get this settlement, and then they want ChatGPT to mention this settlement when people are asking for an attorney in that town, right? So ChatGPT is recommending them, but doesn't talk about the settlement. So they have local business schema. If there's 100 tools that can generate local business schema, so go find one. It'll generate it. ChatGPT does a great job generating it also. So what we did, we took the local business schema from their website, we gave it to ChatGPT, and then I gave ChatGPT links to the settlement. It was a big enough one that it made the national news. So I gave it a bunch of article links to that settlement information and said, hey, I want you to add this settlement into the local business schema. So then ChatGPT regenerated the schema. It added a reward. I think they called it a reward, and put it underneath the attorney subcategory. So it ends up being this crazy complicated nested schema. No problem. ChatGPT does it. Great job. Double check it on Google's structured data testing tool to make sure no errors, no warnings. Implemented it on the website. A week later, ask ChatGPT to recommend an attorney in that town, and it repeats literally word for word the information that was in the schema markup about that settlement. And we've seen that over and over again. If you put information like FAQ schema is another great one. Let me show another prompt that we started playing with, and it's really cool what it does. There it is. Um, share screen, share screen. So I'm not a very creative person. I called it the Reddit thread finder. So what this prompt does is it's going to go to Reddit and other local business forums in your area for your type of business, and it's going to pull up the type of comments, questions, things that people are talking about in your area about your type of business, right? So if you're in Miami, it's not going to talk about, a furnace repair. But if you're in Minneapolis, furnace repair might be a really big deal.
Yep.
If you're in Chicago, replacing a lead main drain line might be a big deal. Chicago's an old city. If you're in Houston, there aren't very many lead main drain lines. Houston's a much newer city, right? So it's going to find these things, and it's going to generate suggested FAQs about those very specific topics that people are asking about in your region, about your service. Then you expand upon those FAQs, write it, and you implement an FAQ schema that you nest inside your local business schema. And then when someone asks ChatGPT, hey, I have a lead main drain line that I need replaced, who would you recommend? It's going to say, Joe the plumber has been replacing lead main drain lines in Chicago for 25 years. And it will almost word for word pull from the FAQ schema that you implemented. It's kind of crazy how easy it is to feed ChatGPT words that it repeats to people.
Yeah. It's wild.
All right,
Now,
I got kind of excited there. Sorry, I went, yeah.
no, because I think again, there's a massive opportunity just in SEO, and I get annoyed when people say that it's dead and nobody goes there. Actually, you and I talked about this 2 years ago on my
We
YouTube channel,
did.
and were you wrong?
No, I said informational searches are dead.
Yeah, blogs.
Yeah. So when we think about local businesses, right, we're quite a ways from AI being able to actually replace your water heater.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Um, so when we think about Google versus ChatGPT versus and none of the other AI programs matter, right? Like 98% of recommendations are coming from ChatGPT. So trying to optimize for like Grok or Perplexity or something is the same thing as saying I do SEO for Bing, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the time. Why would you do that? Optimize for ChatGPT and don't worry about the rest. But if you think about it, what Google did that I talked about, Google has spent the last 25 years trying to figure out how to decide what is a trustworthy business based only on information they can find online, right? And ChatGPT is now doing the exact same thing. It's the exact same problem. How can ChatGPT recommend a business based only on information they can find online? And no surprise, often their recommendations are pretty similar to one another.
Yeah.
If you skip like your Bing for Business or stuff like that, then they're not going to be. But as long as you get these basic stuff right, you can usually rank in both. And yeah, Market Suite, set it right. If you're in the Google Map Pack and ChatGPT is recommending you, the sales call is, who do I give my credit card number to?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. Um, let me just shoot off some questions that people had. I didn't notice that came in. Do you adjust the rank map to the size of their service area?
So if there's something specific, we will. Usually, I'm pretty lazy, so I'll just run whatever the default is, which is 13 miles by 13 miles. Works out to 169 square miles. That's pretty big. If we need to, for whatever reason. So we have a client who's a plastic surgeon in New York City. For them, we made the rank map quite a bit smaller because you're not going to rank in 170 square miles in Manhattan.
Right.
But on the other hand, in Chicago, we are ranking in 169 square miles around Chicago. So usually we just leave it whatever the default is.
Got it. Um, let me look here. Are you looking on yours? I'm looking on
Yeah.
mine.
So
Okay.
let's see. Saeed, what if it's not a service area business? Is this still relevant? So a service area business, that means that there's no address, no visible address on the Google Business profile. We will not take clients that are a service area business. It is much, much harder to rank a service area business, like 50 to 100% harder. It's often less expensive. Usually you'd be a service area business because you don't want your primary residence address to be visible. But it's going to often be easier, cheaper to rent an office and make it a visible address than it is to rank a service area business. But I'm not sure I understand the question. What if it's not a service area business? Maybe you mean like, what if it's like a LASIK eye surgeon where somebody comes to you? Then yes, it's still relevant. If you're a restaurant, it's still relevant. You're trying to rank across the map pack, regardless if you go there or they come to you.
Got it. Let me just shoot these off really quick. You aren't trying to get the actual website ranked, then? No, we're trying to get it ranked in the Google
You're
Business
trying to get the
profile.
Google business profile ranked, not the website.
Okay. And real quick, just because somebody did ask, this is a very good question. Carrie asked, "What's the difference between?" I guess they went and looked you up. The $27 per month school and the $197 per month school. What's the difference?
Right. So the 197 is like over the shoulder, step by step. This is exactly how we do local SEO at my agency. The $27 group has a bunch of AI prompts, all of which I featured on the YouTube channel. It has a course called Modern SEO, which sort of gives the basics of what modern SEO is, ranking for AI, using AI to rank on Google. And both of them have a community, and I'm active in there. I try to answer every single question. The pro group, we do a weekly Zoom call where anyone who wants to join can. We answer all their questions. We do that in the Modern SEO group, the $27 group, but that's only once a month.
Got it. And I actually dropped a link because I know somebody was asking me for the link. So I dropped a link also on my YouTube channel. If you're on Caleb's, he could drop his own link. Um, or his link is probably everywhere. But I'll say that I'll say this because I don't want to. Is that I actually use? I'm in Caleb's group and I follow his instructions through the school community for stuff that I'm working on in my own agency. But I do want to actually ask you this question. I know you get a lot of clients on Upwork. Okay,
Yeah.
what?
That's how I built my first seven-figure agency on Upwork. Yeah.
Yeah, and so my question is this, and because this is going to be, I'm actually starting to do this for myself. Why not rank in your local area, your own marketing agency? I feel like this is
Yeah.
like the
So
most hidden gem for even in my coaching program, the local marketing vault. You know, everybody's like, I can't get clients. I can't get clients. How do I get clients? It's like, yeah, we give you 9 ways to get clients. Upwork is like the number one way. Warm market is another way. Double tapping, trials, on and on. Local BNI groups. I mean, there's a million ways, right? So it's just people just are scared. But when an inbound lead comes, it's a lot
yep.
easier conversation. What's your thought on that?
Absolutely, and that's a method that we talk about quite a bit. Like build an agency website, use these same methods to rank it. One of the challenges with ranking an agency website is often SEO agency websites are what I like to call as overlinked, meaning they have more links than you would expect given the city size. The reason for that is a lot of SEO agencies will put links from their client sites back to the agency site. So they end up having a lot of local authority links just because they're doing that. But if you're in an area that doesn't have that, or if you're in an area that does have it and you just joined a bunch of chambers to get over it anyway, the conversation that you have with people who found you on Google is a much easier conversation than the one that you have with people that you ran ads to or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to start doing that in my. I have about 100,000 people now in my town, maybe more now, or maybe like 70 to 100,000. And there's literally no marketing agencies here.
Oh, well, perfect. Yeah.
There's
Now the
like
search volume is low, but you might get 1 or 2 inbound leads a month. Yeah.
somebody asked, the lead snap tool, is it only to show heat maps? No. You
No, the
this
core thing that we do with the lead snap tool is the citations. And Crypto Billions asked if it works for service area businesses. Probably, but honestly, I don't know because we don't work with service area businesses. Like it's impossible to rank them, so we don't work with them because I'm not going to take on a client that I don't think I can show results for. So I don't have any experience trying to use lead snap with service area businesses.
what do you mean service area businesses? Like
A
what do you
service area business means a GBP that has a not does not have a visible address, so it's a hidden
Oh.
address.
Oh, right. Right. So if I was a marketing agency and worked out of my home, I would have an
Right.
invisible address. It would be impossible to
Well,
rank.
exactly. And what I would say, if you're in that situation, I would say display your primary residence address. That's
Yeah.
fine. Google doesn't care. And if you don't want to, for whatever reason, then get an office space. Like
Right. Yeah.
there's so many office vacancies. We had a client, we got them an office space in like downtown Denver for $500 a month. Like
Yeah.
office cheap.
Yeah. And it's worth it,
Um,
especially it captures now that area as well, for
exactly.
proximity.
And Mukesh, 45 services and 16 service areas. So you would have 45 service pages. The service areas, they are all the testing I've done, and I've done a lot. The service areas mean absolutely nothing. Fill it out because we always fill it out. That's the area on the GBP where it's just like, it says like what areas do you serve, and you can put zip codes and stuff in. So I mentioned we had 97 plumber clients in 6 months. So sometimes they don't pay their invoice, and that I see as an opportunity to do some split testing to see what happens when we do things. And one of the things that we tested was, hey, what happens if the plumber is in California and we put a bunch of zip codes for Manhattan in their GBP? And what happened to the rank position was absolutely nothing. It didn't
Yeah.
move, didn't affect it. So service areas, they don't do anything. Fill them out, but don't like you don't have to do 45 times 16. It does no, just the 45.
Just 45. Yeah. Makes sense. I don't have any other questions on my end.
Awesome.
Do
All
you have any?
right. Well, cool.
Yeah. So I dropped a link. If you, I mean, honestly, you can go back a year, and what Caleb put together in this 197 a month group is a $10,000-$15,000 coaching program, in my opinion, for $197 a month. And like, if you need it for 6 months and then you learned it all yourself, so be it. If you need it in 3 months, but you're definitely gonna learn a ton of stuff. I use it, and I've been in the game since 2014. He
I
just
will say
became.
that we have in the 197 group, we have 219 members currently, and my churn rate is 2%.
Yeah, people stay.
People stay.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to, in my opinion, to pay 197 a month to constantly have that to turn to, rather than try to create your own. Create all of that same content for yourself, for your team, and then eventually, I mean, you just copy and paste prompts. What core 30 laid out for you. So
And if you have any questions, we do a weekly call. You can post it in the group. You can send me a message. Yeah.
yeah, so that link is pinned. And Carrie asked again, what tool actually creates the heat maps? LeeSnap will create the heat map. It does multiple things.
It also has a CRM, but I don't use the
You don't
CRM
use that. And
functionality. But
and
yeah.
uh, and to get the you probably have a link in there as well, right? To join LeadSnap.
Yeah, I do have a LeadSnap affiliate link. I know it's an affiliate link, but if you do decide to check it out, the affiliate link will actually give you, it'll double the free trial, and it will give you half off the first 3 months.
Oh, there
Um,
you go.
so it's a pretty good affiliate deal. Patrick owns LeadSnap. He was willing to work with me on, because yeah, it always feels so scuzzy to be like, here's my affiliate link. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
but if they're gonna go buy it anyway, why not?
Yeah, well, I'll give it to you, and we'll track anyone who signs up from this. We'll make sure. Yeah.
All right, yeah, and I have the link too. I'll drop his link in the. Actually, once this thing ends, does it have like a description? Whatever, I'll figure out how to get that link. But it's in the course. His link is pinned on my end. I'm good. I think we went deeper than I thought we were gonna go deep as this.
Yeah, that was a bit more than I was expecting. My kids are probably wondering where I am because I got to go make them dinner.
Oh boy, why your wife's working?
She is. She's working tonight.
Wow, it's a late
But
night,
they're playing Civilization 7, so
so they don't care.
they're probably excited that they get to play video games later. Yeah, the Xbox is an excellent babysitter sometimes.
No, no, it definitely is. My son plays something on his computer. I think he's still playing Fortnite, believe it or not. He's 13.
Fortnite. Hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong with falling in love with something.
Yeah. I'm trying to I want to sign him up for that like AI kids course. There's like a kids course you can sign him up for. Kids, it's
My son, okay, so I've been talking about this quite a bit, right? So I don't know. This is a whole other topic. Maybe we need to do another live stream. But just real quick, I just got so entry level hiring is like way down across everything,
yeah.
across all big companies. So I mean, I'm glad I'm not in college right now. I'm glad my kids aren't in college or in high school. They're a little bit younger, middle school, elementary school. But it'll be a tough time to try to find a job right now. And what's happening, so the AI can't do people's jobs, right? Like you can't use AI to just replace someone. What's happening is they have experts who are running AI and then replacing 10 or 15 new
Yeah.
hires.
Yeah.
Right? Um, so to get hired, to be valuable in this world, you basically need to know how to run AI. You need to understand the limitations of AI. So one of the things that I'm going to have my kids do is they're going to build and train their own AI model on a local machine, and they can train on whatever they want. I think they decided they're going to train it on Civilization 7 strategies, which is fine. The point is, like, understanding how to build and train a model is so much more valuable than probably anything else they're going to learn in school for where the world is going. One of their teachers gave them an assignment, and it was just like, write a paragraph describing the relative location of Florida. And the teacher said, feel free to use ChatGPT for this assignment, which is a sign that the teacher has never used ChatGPT, doesn't know what it can do,
Right.
because that you just screenshot or take a photo of the assignment, give it a ChatGPT, and you're done, right?
Yeah.
There's more interesting, better questions if you want the kids to engage with ChatGPT in a way that engages critical thinking skills, like even just like, okay, what sources did it use? How did it come up with those answers?
Yeah.
Right? But the teachers don't know how to incorporate ChatGPT because it's so new. So anyway, I would 100% support getting your kids into like these beginner AI courses and get deeper and deeper. The only downside with building your own model on a local machine is, damn, the NVIDIA graphics units are expensive these days.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how the hell do you build your own model? I don't get I don't understand it.
Yeah, so you can download like the PyTorch. It's coded in Python, but Claude, ChatGPT can do a lot of the heavy lifting for the coding up front. And
Got it.
then when you run it on your local machine, you can see how it's using the different resources, the GPU, and you have to work to optimize that. You give it a data set to train it on. So yeah, it's a whole big thing. But man, I think that would be so valuable to learn versus just typing things into the box like 99.9% of users.
Yeah, I don't know. I might just be typing things into a box.
Oh, I type things into box. I'm not learning how to do all that. That's what my kids can do. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. All right, man. I appreciate your time as always. We'll talk. We'll chat. Enjoy your dinner. I'm about to have mine. And everybody that watched, appreciate you watching on my channel and on yours. That worked out pretty well. So,
Awesome.
all
Thank you,
right.
James. Pleasure to
Thank you.
have you on my channel and a pleasure to be on yours. Take
Sounds
care.
good. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks.